What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Frieren Season 2, Episode 9, the penultimate episode of the season. A lot shorter than Season 1, unfortunately, but hey, it's been a good ride so far, so I'm not going to complain, and if this is what it takes to keep the quality up, so be it. Last episode was great, and I'm eager to see what this one gets into, but given that it is the penultimate episode, it is worth acknowledging that we are going to be finishing the season soon and moving into the new anime season. And with that, in the next week or so, I'll be setting up a poll to determine what I react to in the following anime season. So if you have anything in mind for this upcoming anime season that you would like to see me react to, put it in the description of this video or in next week's video if I haven't made the poll by then, and I will potentially put it into whatever poll I make. But with that said, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and drop by my streams if you feel like it. I stream every Tuesday and on occasion other times, and let's get into this. Not starting with the opening, okay. Interesting. Ooh! Denkin is the name, I think? I'm horrible with names. Really cool to see him again. Is he finally going to be able to see his wife? Or her grave, rather? Interesting. I wonder what that letter is. Interesting. He had an escort. Is her grave somewhere more secluded? Actually, with what we know about the Northern Plateau, her grave being up in the Northern Plateau is actually sort of surprising. Either that or he's very, like, south of the plateau, but still technically in it. Huh. Interesting way to start. Very interesting start point. Okay. So we might be meeting up with Denkin this episode. If that's the case, that's exciting, because I was a fan of Denkin's character in Season 1. He was a very cool character, and easily one of the more explored ones of that season. Well, at least of the mages, of course. So we'll see, I suppose. I think this episode is called, like, Himmel's Memoirs or something like that, so I'm sort of a surprise that this is what we're getting, but hey, a little bit of something from Himmel, a little bit of something from Denkin, I'll take it. I say it every time, but it doesn't change that I love this part. Given that this is the penultimate episode, I am very curious to see where we're going to leave off, though. Because it's very much been a season of smaller storylines. It hasn't really had any big arc, which I guess is similar more so to the first half of Season 1, so it's not too much a surprise there. But it is interesting, unless this is the start of a 2-episode arc again. The Draken region, okay. Damaged town. Assuming this isn't the same town that we were defending. I would assume we've passed by. Well, not defending, but you know. Attacked by a dragon. I'm not surprised by that. A flight of dragons, Jesus. Why was Aizen being carried? Uh-oh. Concerning. Just kill a few dragons. I love that they're bonding over this. Oh, that's cute. That's very cute that Stark and Fern, oh geez, can be on the same page with that kind of shit. It's in rough shape. Yeah, I had a feeling. They're not leaving. Hmm. Hmm. No matter how dangerous. I mean, we handled one decently a long time ago. Hmm. We're heroes. Do you happen to have a grimoire lying around? I mean, that's enough. That's enough. The fact that someone made a grimoire for that spell is funny. Of course, she'll take it. Yep. She had to think about it for a moment, though. Okay. Time for a dragon hunt. I'm assuming, based on the cold open, that this will be somewhere near where Denkin is. Ooh! I like how that looks. The way they, like, pulled the mana out of the claw. Like, strike. Ow. Now it's just sort of like a compass, almost. Interesting. You don't say. For her development. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh god. Okay. Seems to be taking a while. A lot of a distance. Aw. What? What does that mean? Is it above them? Okay. Huh. Oh, there they are. Yeah, okay. Weaker than a solar dragon? Okay. Good framework to compare to. Yeah, okay. All right. He's killed a dragon before. This is an interesting sort of reflection of Stark's first interaction with them. Let's do it. Didn't expect to get into action this quickly. I love the faith they all have in each other. But especially Frieren's faith in Stark. Jesus, that's two of them down. Three. Jesus Christ, Stark. What? Wild. Ow. Okay, that's a few more down, but Jesus Christ, he almost lost his head. Ooh, kicking off of the one. Fucking orbital strike. Ooh, I love that shot. We've had some good shots of Stark lately. That's cool. Holy shit. You doing okay there, bud? You took some hits. Still standing. Or, oh, you're floating. Okay. You did good, Stark. Yeah. Very good. That was very scary. Yeah. I guess. Warriors are just built different. Yeah. Ah, the grimoire, what it was all for. A proper reward. Wild that we immediately finished up with that. Yeah, but then we'll take the most minor of grimoires. Hmm, really? I mean, they had to survive somehow. Still surprising. Often the people in need are not the wealthy ones. Hmm. Hmm. Is this how it began? Hmm. No use for it. They will not miss it. Oh. And did this then become his memoir? Oh. Interesting. I was sort of thinking in a similar vein as that, but So no matter how small the payment, as long as a trade has been made, an agreement has been made, it's not just people indebted to them. Hmm. Huh. Interesting. That's a interesting perspective. Yes. Yes. There's a lot of powerful spells she probably could gather, but she has a lot of those, I imagine. Yeah, Himmel's Memoirs. Eisen. Oh, okay. I was trying to decide what he was doing, but it looks like he was doing like a one finger handstand. Yeah, okay. Huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's not a clean, happy thing. Looking for the memoir? The notebook? Huh. Interesting. Anyways, Lake Corridor. Okay. So in both cases, both the past and now were locked down in a place, but obviously here is more populated. Not the first time we've been locked down in a town. I don't think so. Oh, little fish. Are you gonna throw it back? Oh, okay. Yeah. If they're big enough or in the right spot. Hmm. Wow, okay. Huh. So you can't fly over. Jeez. Yeah. Hmm. You can see how far away as if it's just flat. Mountain ranges, I imagine, are difficult to traverse. Oh? Yeah, if there's if there's no clear path. Yeah, that is fair. I mean, a lot of people getting trapped here. Bound to make it a populated area. We're seeing some mirroring of the other case. Hmm. Interesting dinner. Hmm. At least they have a magic shop. Leave it to Stark to make friends. Jesus Christ. I imagine a few months have gone by. Huh. All of winter. Tuh. Fair. Fair. Can't expect him to risk his life unnecessarily. Oh boy. Yeah, you did seem to buy a lot. Oh? Oh. Okay. Oh. Ties together to that. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. So that's where he lost them? Interesting. Okay. Hmm. So there is a bit of a through line so far in the episode. A bit loose, but it's interesting. A lot more travel. Oh, I love that shot. Something about the play with the water there. Mm. That's a lot of ships. Hmm. Okay. Huh. Okay. Curious. I half doubt it, but yeah. Ooh. Okay. She thinks of something. She recalls something when told that tale. That definitely was a demon of some sort. Hmm. Interesting little seeds of something. Hmm. No one bothered repairing it? Hmm. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Those chairs are in remarkably good condition. Is that the memoir? At the feet of a statue? Interesting. A bit of a pose. Oh boy. Interesting that it's just sat there at the feet of the statue, though. Hmm. Did she ever get to read it? I imagine probably not. He never finished writing it, after all. Hmm. I like... I really like this way of portraying the memoirs, like what's captured in it. Aww. Well, Jesus Christ. Showing things from Himmel's perspective. And shifting to her perspective for a moment. Interesting. Yeah, and he never finished it. I really love that sequence. That's such a good sequence. Hmm. Hmm. What would be forgotten by the legends? Hmm. Something tells me he's gonna let her keep it. There's not a lot of elves. That too. Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of books in here. Hmm. But that's enough. That's something. For it to show on Frieren's face is saying something. Sort of. She's actually pretty emotive. Oh no. Oh no! Stark, what have you done? Jesus. I mean, it's a big lake. You're awfully calm there, Frieren. Oh no. What's the weakness? Frieren, you gotta be clearer than that. Yeah. And we just leave it there. Okay. Huh. Once again, an interesting little self-enclosed episode. I'm very intrigued by the cold open, though. I imagine that means we'll end with Denkin next episode. But maybe not. Maybe that was just sort of a brief update with him to show that he is making it to where he meant to go. I don't know, but this was an interesting episode. Much... It's sort of weird to say, but much mellower than last episode, for sure. Despite having the whole, like, Flight of Dragons fight, there were a lot more calm moments here, a lot more contemplative moments. And I really like how the memoirs were just mundane stuff. As Frieren described it, the everyday minutiae of life, of the ridiculous journey they went on. And as I said, the things that would be forgotten in the legends told about the adventure. It's something that we've had expressed as an important thing before, but I like how they expressed it here. And the entire sequence of Frieren reading the memoir and it being expressed as her, well, as like Himmel's perspective was so nice. Yeah, that was a very comparatively chill episode. I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. I do find it interesting as a penultimate episode. I have no idea where we're gonna end, but it was really solid. The Flight of Dragons fight was really, really good. Lots of good fighting sequences there, really good shots, but it really was just sort of a detour. It wasn't connected to most of the episode. It really only served to tie into this idea of payment and why you ask for payment when helping people, and that being trying to avoid people feeling indebted to you, as apparently Himmel's perspective was that if you help someone and get nothing in return, and they are thus indebted to you, you haven't truly helped them. As I assume the way of thought leads to the idea that they are then indebted to you, they are sort of at your beck and call a little bit until essentially it is decided that they don't owe you anymore. But if you take even just a small reward and then say that's enough, then the deal has been done. It's an interesting perspective, one that I don't perfectly gel with, but it is interesting and ties a little bow and sort of full circle moment with why Frieren asked for payment constantly. Other than it just being she wants to collect spells, it explains why she always asks for payment but doesn't care how small the payment is usually. Unless she really doesn't want to bother. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical of the perspective's validity from like a logical standpoint necessarily, but I'm not gonna deny it outright because it is an interesting idea. Because I think maybe some of the more realness of and sort of the feeling of what is trying to be portrayed there might be more in the idea that if someone thinks that they owe you something, if someone thinks that they are indebted to you, they're going to be walking on eggshells around you to make sure that they're not offending you, and they're going to be looking for ways to provide like aid to you or like do something for you, do favors for you, whatever it may be. They'll practically like act as a servant or something, which isn't the point of the heroics. It isn't the point to do something good to help someone and have them then feel like they need to do something. And so much more so than just saying you don't owe me anything, if you accept even just the smallest of payments, it perhaps eases things more in people's minds that, okay, we at least did something for them in return for their help. I don't know, maybe that's the angle that it's really meant to be taking. That's sort of the strongest emotional core I can sort of grasp at the moment. Feel free to let me know if you can think of it in a different way or whatever. But that very much is one piece of the episode. That's sort of the thematic core of One Piece, where then the second half actually does a good job of sort of pulling the threads of the first half to lead into the second half, with the reward that is the example of something small that they accept as a reward for all the reasons that I was just talking about, is what then becomes Himmel's Memoirs. That is the MacGuffin for the back half of the episode and all that. And I already touched on it a little bit as the episode was closing out, but I really like the idea of the Memoirs being the mundanity of the adventure, the everyday life. And actually, now that I think about it, I like an aspect of the scene where they are in the past stuck in like a random cottage in a storm, talking about how, you know, adventures aren't always super exciting, important days. Sometimes they're a series of crappy days where you're stuck in a shack. And the reason I like an aspect of that is, one, it ties back to this idea of this ridiculous journey that has a ton of stuff going on in it that is unforgettable for the people who went on the journey, both mundane and big. But the fact that that scene is where he realizes he's lost the memoir is very fitting, because he obviously was going to pull out the memoir to start writing about the past few days. After all, it was one of the more mundane moments of the trip, the kind of thing that wouldn't be written about in the legends. There might be tales in the legends of Himmel the hero of how him and his party weathered a crazy storm or something while going over a mountain range or whatever, but there wouldn't be in that necessarily the details of what it was like to sit in a shack for 3 days, waiting for the storm to pass. Even if the broad strokes are hit, even if the more epic side of it is explored or talked about as part of the legend, that mundanity is lost. So him writing the memoirs for that mundanity to survive is something I like a lot. But beyond that, though, I don't necessarily have too much more to say about it. It's a fairly chill episode. It really sort of is just moving us along in a lot of ways, moving us through time. We're past winter now. We're passing through this one area. We're seeding some new concepts like the Golden City and that hint of it reminding Frieren of something, of a demon that she once faced, it seems. Something that I imagine we might get into next episode, but might just be a setup for the future. And then obviously the cold open with Denkin. It's entirely possible that that will tie into next episode, where we'll run into Denkin or whatever. I don't know, though. I don't know. We're at the end of the season with this next episode, and I don't know how we're going to end, necessarily. It's been an interesting season. I don't think it's hit the same highs as Season 1, but it has been good. It's been hitting the marks of what I like about Frieren. And I think I'll save any other grander talk about the season until next episode's analysis to be fully cohesive about it. But yeah, no, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. But I'll leave things here for now. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and very special thanks to all of my channel members, including Amorphosilica, Dweller, Pokelove 101, and Unusual Echo at the normal tier, and Kondo Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!